What is going on to the AMC stock family? In today's video, we're going to be discussing about Thursday, August 18th for AMC's price action, what is going to be going on for this stock. And so right off the bat, I would like to quickly point out the irony and how ironic the price is right now, because if you understand this, right, yesterday in the previous video, we were talking about the candle wick, about how we had yet to have a full-on reversal. And so what do I mean by that? Well, our first reversal that we indicated, and this was not the most that we could get out of this, and we said that this is not the best that AMC stock can do. It can definitely go up higher, but right now it is not at that level yet. And so behold, what do we have right now? We have AMC and we have the wick. And so we also explained how the wick does not mean a sign of reversal, because our second level was $38 a share. And so it was necessary for a candle to close above $38 a share. And so we did not have that. Not once, but on a day like today, not twice either. This is perfectly fine though, don't worry. But because this is the AMC price action and prediction for August 19th, which is a Thursday, we were just talking about in the previous video how we needed a candle close. And honestly, on a day-to-day basis, all this is irrelevant. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. This is a buy and hold. And so this is also the journey to $100 a share. I know I also mentioned this before, but I'm going to reiterate it one more time because this is a marathon. This is not a sprint by any means. I am aware that the AMC stock price will probably squeeze way before even 6 months, even before 4 months. So guys, we are very and extremely close. But I'm just saying again, if you guys want a marathon and not a sprint, you guys will have the stock go up nicely. However, what's going to end up happening, and this will not work in our favor, is when there will be any signs of a sprint. In other words, when I'm talking about a sprint where the price decides to increase exponentially fast or decrease exponentially fast, for example, what happened when the stock went from $72 a share to $38 a share? This was in a matter of one day. This is very much different from what occurred when the stock went up. And so how is it different? This stock took about 4 months to have the short squeeze. Meanwhile, it took one day, and again, one day for the stock to go down from 72 to $38 a share. That is called a sprint. No one wants that. No one wants artificial manipulation. No one wants the hedge funds to control the AMC stock price, which right now they unfortunately do. They control roughly 6% of the AMC price action. Meanwhile, the AMC retail traders, they own 80% of the float. How does that make sense? It is because the hedge funds have much more of an average money for the position that they hold, rather than if you compare that to the retail traders. And one example that I'm going to bring up is how 0.1% of a hedge fund's portfolio, like Charles Schwab or JP Morgan, is going to equate to roughly $2 million. And if they are invested in AMC, again, 0.1% equates and correlates to $2 million. If you contrast that though to the average AMC retail trader, an average retail trader may have about 5% of their portfolio in AMC, and I know that a lot of people have even more, maybe 50%, but I'm just giving an example. 5% is going to be nowhere near that 0.1% that the hedge funds have, and yet the hedge funds still have, with just 0.1% equating to $2 million. That is absolutely insane, and that answers your question for how did we fall so quickly, like a sprint, from $72 to $38 a share. Now, going off of that, again, so we need a closing with a full candle above $38 a share to show the last and final sign of a reversal. And so with this reversal, we will now be having the gap fill to the upside. This gap fill, everyone wants to see this happen because with this gap fill, it is an imminent movement to the upside all the way back to around that $60 share level, and we get closer to our ultimate journey level. And again, everyone has their own journey levels. For example, for some people maybe $80 a share, and if it's at $80 a share, no worries, right? Because no one bought AMC stock at $80 a share, therefore everyone would be making money. And then some people have it at 100, some people have their ultimate price target at 1,000. These are all just everyone's own price targets. And so on a day-to-day basis though, we need to evaluate what's going to happen for tomorrow, which is August 19th, which is also a Thursday. So right off the bat, AMC stock, I do want to understand the RSI because we have not understood this for quite a while. We never really evaluated this technical indicator, and it's not like we ignored this indicator. It was just simply that the AMC stock price was extremely volatile throughout the past few months. And so with technical analysis, if the indicators at the end of the day, they are just computational algorithms and they use complex mathematics. But even this math, even this computational algorithms, they cannot understand what is going on in the market if there is extreme forms of volatility. And so volatility is 100% going to be greater than the value of any sort of math that is used by the technical analysis indicators. So with that being said, now that AMC stock has slightly cooled off, and now that we have less volatility on a day-to-day basis, and I'm sure that we can all agree on that, because AMC stock, when it was around this trading zone, when was this? This was the middle of June or the beginning of June, and then this occurred all the way until about the end of July. And so this was an extremely significant volatility time. Now this contrasts with right now, the zone that we are in right now, it has been pure consolidation. And so we know this because we have just been trading between these two zones right here, from $28 a share to $38 a share. And so it is just now, right? It is just now recently that we have decided to go upwards. Before, it was really stagnant and the price was just consolidating. And we were talking about how the seasonality of this may be the reason for that. For example, seasonality, what do I mean? Well, stocks like Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, all those blue chip stocks, we thought that they would not be the best during the August month because seasonality wise, there's no volume. And so with the volume, we understand that because look at Tesla's volume right now, very, very low. And if you compare this to around the time of last year, the end of last year, December timeframe, there was a lot more volume. And let's not say December, let's compare it to relative years. So 2021, let's not understand the 2020 year. So even for 2020, we were still much higher on the 250 level for the volume bar. Now we are at 228 level, and even just slightly a little bit lower. So just to give you guys some perspective on the volume is definitely not the best. And so why is this going to be beneficial for us, and why do we even care about all these blue chip stocks and the S&P 500, which Tesla and a lot of blue chip stocks are also in the S&P 500 because these make up the best 500 companies in these investors' opinions. Don't get me wrong though, a lot of investors, they have different stocks and different ETFs for various equities. For example, another ETF that is called the IWM, the equities that they have is going to be AMC stock. And so this makes a lot of sense because IWM is actually down as the ETF, but S&P 500 is actually up. And so we understand now that we have some sort of inverse correlation. And so the reason why this will help the AMC investors and the AMC stock family is because as soon as these blue chip stocks decide to have a sell-off, that is probably when AMC stock will start to show signs of resilience and decide to increase. The IWM and AMC stock do not 100% follow each other because sometimes AMC stock will go completely parabolic on the day, increasing 4 to 5 to 7 points on a day-to-day basis, but the IWM, it has just been consecutively down. And so the RSI on the IWM looks like it can continue to fall. But for AMC stock, now let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow, or what the predictions are for tomorrow. So with that being said, we still do not have that 100% reversal indication, so I'm still going to keep this $38 share level because we need to see a closing candle above 38. This just simply means with the wicks is that there's not enough demand to sustain the candle bar. So with that being said, we're still going to keep 38. And this is also considered a supply zone. $38 a share is going to be synonymous to the supply zone. And why is this a supply zone? Because a lot of people will start cashing out. And this is where the irony comes in because yesterday all we were talking about were supply and demand zones. So now where's going to be our demand zone? Well, if AMC stock does decide to have a sell-off day tomorrow, and we could better understand this tomorrow when we understand the market sentiment, what we can understand from there is that AMC stock's demand zone will probably be around $35 a share. And so the RSI for AMC stock looks like it has a double top. So I would not be surprised to see the AMC stock price fall just slightly, maybe tomorrow. And so that is just because if we were to base this off of the RSI, which is the relative strength index, and that is because one time we ended up going here, that was about the same time that AMC stock rose to about $42 a share. That is where we are right now in terms of the relative strength index. And so this is the strength index, meaning the momentum. And so momentum is driven by volume. And the volume is also synonymous to the price action. And so if we have the same amount of strength that we had when we were around the $42 level, after we went to $42 a share, we ended up having a sell-off. And so with AMC, I don't think that we will have as much of a sell-off as we did because this sell-off went all the way to $28 a share. I'm not saying that by any means, AMC stock family, do not get me wrong. What I'm just trying to say though is that I would not be surprised if we had a slight red day, not for the entire day tomorrow for AMC, but if we do go down a couple points, I wouldn't be surprised. And so if you guys were wondering when will the buyers step in, then the level for you is going to be $35 a share, unless we end up breaking that. And if we do end up breaking $35 a share, I will make an updated video. So with that being said, AMC stock family, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next video.